Is here with Premium Sports to bring you this District 3 semifinal game between Governor Mifflin and Spring Grove, alongside my buddy Kerry Moyer. As usual, Brett Moyer on camera. Guys, we're in for a really classic matchup here. Governor Mifflin, undefeated so far this season, led by Nick Singleton. And Bob, what are your impressions of Governor Mifflin as a Philly guy coming up to see your first game here in Shillington?
Well, they do what they do well. They make no bones about it. They run the ball. They got a wonderful fullback, and then Nick Singleton is the primary tailback. Bruce, they've only completed 11 passes this year. Certainly hasn't stopped them in their run through. Excited to see what this team can do. Excited to see the rushing attack of Nick Singleton. It's why folks are making their way out to Shillington in big numbers these days.
Yeah, absolutely. Kerry, Spring Grove out of the York Adams area, do they have a shot at Governor Mifflin tonight?
Well, again, you look at, they've had a very successful season, only have that one loss and, of course, that to Central York back in October. So, yeah, absolutely. If you get this far into the playoffs, you absolutely have a shot. That said, we've seen Governor Mifflin many times. We've seen, this core group together, Singleton all the way back to Wayne was a freshman. And until somebody stops them, every week we come here, I'm expecting them to hang 50 points on the opposing team.
Yeah, the most amazing thing is the fact that Governor Mifflin is in position to score anywhere on the field. I mean, they call timeouts at halftime with 50 and 60-yard, run opportunities for Nick Singleton, and the guy's taking him to the house, Kerry.
Well, you look at last week, and again, I know there was a little bit of hoopla over it. Is there some maybe provoking taunting going on the opposing side of Singleton? But he definitely unleashed the beast last week. I mean, 15 touches and 7 of those are touchdowns. And puts up well over 300 yards in the process. And again, those runs were inside, they were outside, they were 50, 60 yards, they were from the 2 and 3. Anytime he touches the ball, he's so dynamic. But again, it's the supporting cast around him. We talk about this every week. When you have two quarterbacks, it could be a starting quarterback just about anywhere in the state. That's an awesome, luxury to have. There's not a lot of teams that have that. And we'll talk more about, the two fullbacks, as we go through this game. You got two guys there, but they're deep. Mifflin is deep. They've got depth, unlike any other high school team that we've seen so far this year.
And Bob, Spring Grove, has their share of athletes as well, don't they?
They certainly do. This is a 3-4 defensive front that we're going to be looking at. Not always the easiest in terms of when you're talking about stopping the run, just a 3-man front. Nick Singleton's not as much worried about what the front 7 looks like as that back 4, the defensive secondary. He finds his way into the secondary quite often, but you're going to see Spring Grove try to line up, use the athleticism, those outside linebackers, stuff the holes, and use that nose guard right up front to be that initial guidepost for their defensive effort tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how Spring Grove, tries to contain Nick Singleton. Different teams have tried different formulas, but yet nobody's been successful yet. This year. And I'm interested to see that as the biggest thing tonight for Spring Grove is what defense are they going to throw in there? What wrinkle are they going to do to try and stop Nick Singleton? All right, we are getting set for the national anthem, the Governor Mifflin alma mater, going on right now. So we'll be back here in a moment if our buddy Brett there will And we're ready for football here at Governor Mifflin Stadium. Also want to thank our buddy Matt Knobb from the Reading Eagle up here on the deck with us once again tonight. Matt will be providing stats, so we've got multimedia performance here tonight.
Judge, Greg Stamble, field judge, Ryan McDonald, side judge, Darren Keller.
Governor Mifflin, guys, comes out in the maroon tops and bottoms, the gold helmets. Spring Grove, all whites. A good look for Spring Grove coming over from a little bit more towards the central area of Pennsylvania. Bruce, Carrie, excited to be here. This should be a lot of fun tonight.
Well, we're looking forward to it. It's looks like number 12 out there, ready to kick out, Andrew Osmond.
We'll see a lot of him, Bruce. Starting quarterback, kicker, punter, kickoff specialist, and safety.
So what's your prediction on the kickoff here tonight, Bruce?
Well, I've been pretty adamant I don't like all the squib kicking that's going on here. That's been an ongoing theme. But look at here, a deep kickoff, and they're giving it to Nick Singleton. And he breaks it right up the middle. You've got to be kidding me.
Just tripped up.
Yards.
So maybe, Bruce, that's why you see those squib kicks week after week against Governor Mifflin.
He just took that right up the middle, and he had a lane there, and one of the few times he's been tripped up. Beautiful instant replay by our buddy Bob Long here tonight. Thanks, Bob, for stopping by and helping all these Mifflin fans enjoy this game. So,
no, awesome to have Bob here tonight, and a big Penn Stater, and again to see Nick Singleton live. So, no, he's excited about that.
So that's Aiden Gallen for a couple right up the gut.
Aiden Gallen, we've talked about him, last few weeks on the broadcast. So really, the second half of the season has been a huge part of this Governor Mifflin offense. And again, going back to last year, of course, having Brandon Strausser as a fullback and Trey Rock there, now having Trey Rock, but Gallen really coming on, getting a lot of touches at fullback this year. Again, it speaks to that depth that this Mifflin team has, and it's really we'll see tonight. There's times where one guy kind of gets a lot of touches, the series takes it over, but again, Mifflin can spread the ball around to 3, 4, 5 different guys, and they all have the capability to score from anywhere on the field.
Well, an outsider's view here, Carrie, but it sure seems like Governor Mifflin kind of slow foots their way into getting the ball to Nick Singleton, at least in the last drive of the last game, or first drive of the last game you guys called. It was a lot of Aiden Gallen, and then all of a sudden Nick Singleton time.
Yeah, that first drive that they started out with last week, I think it was pretty much Gallen getting like 5 touches. It was going the other way from left to right. Mifflin starting out here, going from right to left on the screen. But no, you're exactly right. And we have an injured guy down here for the Rockets, so looks like he's going to be getting up soon. But no, again, and talking about Governor Mifflin and the depth, across the board. It's just a luxury a lot of teams don't have, and we'll talk about the different positions as we go through. Of course, we'll talk about quarterback and again in the run game, and they haven't really put the ball up a lot passing wise. They haven't had to, but they do have some playmakers there as well.
Carrie, that's Cameron Braxton out there, the injured Spring Grove Rocket. He's a guy that plays both ways, obviously on the defensive line, wearing number 70 on this particular series, but a guy that they're expecting to play right guard, a physical, talented guy. He's able to pull. He does well from a spread option that they run. He's able to move laterally. That's tough to see him helped off the field like that.
Yeah, so hopefully he can get his wheels back underneath him, because when Mifflin goes on defense, they've got some big guys on the inside there. So with his size, they'll definitely be missing that if he can't get back on the field. But ready to go here again.
Oh, it draws him off there. Eden Johnson there with the hard count.
Defense. Still second.
First quarter here, Governor Mifflin in Shillington, Pennsylvania. Beautiful PA football playoff night. Clear skies. The moon is out. We can see all the way up to the pagoda on the top of the hill, Bruce, and we've got a lot of football in front of us.
So Mifflin now second and about one, and Gallon right up the middle again. He's got easily the first down to about the 43-yard line. Gashed that open pretty easily there. Looks like they're overplaying on Singleton to the outside.
Well, you can see why they do that, right? You tie that defense up in the middle, make the defense understand we got to protect the middle of the field, and then that's where Nick Singleton can go to town on the outside of the field.
No, and bringing the old offensive lineman perspective, just banging it up the middle and kind of establishing dominance is always a great thing.
Gallon again. He fumbles the football. I thought he was down, and that's the ruling on the field.
So again, very much like Bob indicated earlier, Gallon really got all the touches in the first series last week, and looks like we're kind of seeing the same thing now. Mifflin's crossed over. 2nd and 4 from the Rockets 38. 10-20 left here in the first quarter.
So Eden Johnson under center. And Singleton off tackle. Good gain on first down. Very close to the first down. Looks like he's got it. So Mifflin on the opening drive here, kind of methodically taking it down the field.
38-yard line. 33.
And of course, you mentioned Eden Johnson at quarterback. I know probably for the last 3-4 games, he's been quite the sticker on defense as well. Very Ronnie Lott, Brian Dawkins, maybe even Jack Tatum-esque with his performances and the way he sticks on defense.
Comes from my end of the state there, guys. Former West Catholic guy for 2 years.
Oh, wow. And Johnson now to the short side of the field carry. Maybe gain of about 3.
No, and again, the kind of stay diet of banging it up the middle there, handing off to the fullback this time, with Johnson pulling it and getting a round end.
So 2nd down here.
It's a pretty good job by Spring Grove, that outside linebacker there, setting the edge. Yeah, you're going to give up a couple yards up the middle there, but better than collapsing and allowing a pitch to Singleton and an open sideline.
Which we may see here out to the wide side on the right.
And a penalty flag. Not sure what that was about.
There was a jump on the defensive line.
Encroachment, defense.
So a couple of encroachment penalties here for Spring Grove, not helping things.
Dead ball foul. Full start.
So they changed it. A disagreement between the linesman and the head official. Head official tonight is Scott Lamprey. Mark Brennington is the umpire. Greg Shameball, line judge. Brian McDonald, the field judge. Todd Starner, the linesman. Darren Kaler, side judge. And Steve Romberger, the back judge.
So 2nd and about 11. Here's Singleton again to the short side of the field. And I was going to say, it looked like he was out of bounds there.
Laundry.
And looks like a holding call on Mifflin this time.
Get one more look here.
Plenty
that came quick. It's that double team on the left side of the line.
Yeah. Plenty of yellow hankies so far here in the opening minutes of the first quarter. 8:44 left. And
so now 2nd and 21 here, guys. You guys know this team better than I do.
They don't get into these situations very often, Kerry, that's for sure.
Does it change anything offensively, Kerry, play call-wise?
No. No.
Yeah. At least this year thus far it hasn't, but.
First time in a shotgun look.
Johnson now back to pass. Swing pass here to Singleton. He's got a man isolated, and he just runs through people, and look at this guy run through tackles.
So again, that's the thing. That's a high percentage pass. I mean, just getting Nick Singleton space, and we talked about this a lot. Had a lot of Mifflin games last year. Again, Bruce, we were here for Nick Singleton's very first varsity experience way back, and I've talked about this a lot. He was always, fast and just had great vision. But the bigger, stronger piece of it now, he just showed it right there.
Absolutely. So Johnson now on the pitcher, Singleton, and nothing doing there. So this is going to bring up a 4th down and about 7 for Governor Mifflin.
Now, great job by that Rocket defense there with the contain, and there's 3-4 white jerseys out there. Again, running into the short side pretty steadily here, other than getting Singleton out in space.
It was a great job by that linebacking core, the cornerback, Braden Merrill, Andrew Ziegler made the stop. But again, we talked about it, setting that edge, right? And pushing Singleton back to the middle of the field.
So 4th down play, they're going to throw it. Johnson now, he takes it under his shoulder. And did he get there? He's short. He is short of the 1st down. So Spring Grove now holding Governor Mifflin on the opening drive will take over. Ball on there about 35-yard line, Kerry.
That was a great job by that Rockets defense. 5 minutes, just about 5 minutes off the clock here in the first quarter with that drive by Mifflin. But incredible job, stopping them.
All right, now let's take a look at this Rockets offense led by Andrew Osman, a junior, 6'1", 205. Has some college interest, will certainly play somewhere. Just not at that point yet. We'll see a lot of spread and a lot of the option here. We'll see some jet sweeps to their main running back, Zyree Brooks, number 20.
In the shotgun there, that's Brooks. And a good play on 1st down, out to about the 34-yard line.
That's a great job by the offensive line for the Rockets. We don't see many guys getting that kind of running lane, with the front 7 for Governor Mifflin. They got those big guys in the middle, and with Trey Rock, the anchor at linebacker. Again, you just don't see guys punching through and getting that many yards.
So 2nd and 1 here, and Brooks there. Looks like he's got the 1st down. Short game. That's all they needed on that play.
What a formation. 2 running backs in the backfield, both of them to the right and make that the left of the starting quarterback there. And you get one going out to block, the other getting the football. You don't see that look very often.
Well, I think this time of year, I think all the teams are trying to bring out all the wrinkles that they possibly can. I mean, they try and go away from tendency, try new formations just to change things up. So Osman, Brooks, in there like a bullet. Boy, that was number 61 there for Governor Mifflin. Arias Hernandez with a beautiful just swim move inside and brought him down in the backfield.
Yeah, this front four for Governor Mifflin going across the line. Daxon Washington, Jamani Smith, Kendry Arias Hernandez, and Michael Ford.
Number 1 killer of your run game is penetration like that. And when you take a look at those helmets of those guys inside, they don't have much of the gold paint left. They're in there banging.
Absolutely. So Osman now calling signals. Pulls it down, and he runs. He is a good athlete. Up to about the 42-yard line and out of bounds.
Ran over Alonzo Anderson, who hung in there, made the hit, and sets up 3rd and manageable, but Governor Mifflin an opportunity to get Spring Grove off the field.
And Trey Rock finishing off on that tackle. But
3rd and 4.
So this is the first time Governor Mifflin has really, all season been somewhat, handled in the early going. Normally they jump out on top quickly, but chance for the Mustangs to get off the field. Osman being chased down. Nice move there, but only for a short gain.
So 4th down decision time, still on your side of midfield. Nick Singleton bearing down on the opposite sideline. What do you do?
Well, again, it's playoff football. I mean, logic would say you're going to punt away here.
And it does look like they are going to kick.
Bear in mind,
you never know. Yeah,
Osman's the quarterback. Osman's the athlete. Osman's the punter. If he gets a look he likes on the catch, don't be surprised to see him at least keep the eyes up and see what he has initially.
So Osmond boots it away. Nice kick, heading out of bounds. Obviously weren't going to try and...
Oof. That one landed on the track.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, it went out of bounds, but I don't know how far he actually got there.
41-yard line. That's where Governor Mifflin will start. So only about a 15-yard punt.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get, if you're gonna make that kick or do that kick, you've got to try and not give good field position to Governor Mifflin. I know that you want to kick it away from Nick Singleton, but conversely, you got to get some yardage there.
Yeah, the track's not taking it back for a kick return touchdown, so I get it.
So that's Johnson following Gallen, and he's still moving very close to a first down, and he's got it.
A little bit about that punt, though, was a high punt, and the wind is to our back up here on the deck, so it is blowing across the field, so that may have aided a little bit of gain out to the track. But so we'll see who is going to have the hot hand for Mifflin on this offensive series, who's going to get the touches. But, again, just a lot of weapons that can spread the ball around.
Mifflin been very conservative so far. So 1st and 10 now. Oh, broken play. Johnson now running for his life, and he's brought down for about a 2-yard loss. Broken play there, Kerry. Mifflin not looking too sharp early on.
No, the ball was on the right hash. The wide side was over here, but some hesitation there. I believe some confusion. Nick Singleton really didn't commit to anything, and again, Ian Johnson just trying to bring it around to the outside.
Drew Miller, the senior cornerback for Spring Grove, did a great job shedding his block and not letting Johnson get to the edge.
So 2nd down and 11. Here's Singleton. And he picks up about 7, but a penalty. And it looks like on Mifflin. So very uncharacteristically slow start for Governor Mifflin in this game.
Some boo birds out here on the home side. I think that was directed towards the officials with that call.
Well, looking at this team, an average of 50 penalty yards per game, so not entirely out of character. 6 fumbles lost on the year. We saw the one that came loose but was ruled down. They've only punted the ball 3 times, guys, so the bugaboo isn't necessarily getting to 4th down. It's the penalties, it's those 6 fumbles, but then again, not much has stopped this offense thus far this year. 2nd down and 20 coming up.
Mifflin now, pitch to Singleton on the edge. And another good defensive job there by Spring Grove.
5 yards.
Now the Rockets playing very disciplined defense, doing their assignments, and getting a lot of those white hats and white jerseys to the ball carriers.
All right, so 3rd down and 15. Make it about 16 for Governor Mifflin. Ball's on their own 45-yard line. No score here. We've got 2:22 remaining in quarter number 1 of this District 3 semifinal.
Isn't this exactly the formula if you're Spring Grove? Now we could be looking after this play laughing about that, but shorten the game, shorten the number of drives, force the rushers of Governor Mifflin into the center of the field.
And another Mifflin penalty, it looks like.
And that might just be the expiry of the play clock. Let's see.
No signal.
Timeout.
So they got the timeout off before the end of the play clock.
All right, so Governor Mifflin, Kerry, I tell you what, this has been as I've mentioned a couple times, very uncharacteristically. Normally they start out strong. Normally they start out sharp. And normally they've got points on the board by now, but we've got 2:03 remaining in quarter number 1, and Mifflin having a tough time of it.
Yeah, 2:03 left here in the first. I don't think we've seen a game where they haven't scored in the first. We have seen a few times a little bit of a slow start, and then once they get started, though, the floodgates open. But tip of the cap to this Rockets defense. They've done a great job so far containing the weapons of the Governor Mifflin offense. But as we know, it only takes one play, one missed assignment, and Mifflin has several guys that can be off to the races.
Academy, a premier provider of alternative education in South Central Pennsylvania, proudly supports PIAA District 3 in their mutual mission to improve the well-being of its students.
All right, third down, about 16 yards to go.
Deep down the sideline, and incomplete. Good defense there by Spring Grove. They were going for Nick Singleton down the sidelines. Governor Mifflin now forced a punt.
I agree. I think on a play like that, you're going to get one side of the field loving the call, the other one not so much. That's a 50-50 call there, but I think just turning the head a little bit to look back at the football is the difference, and kept the flag in the referee's pocket.
Now, and Singleton has step on the DB there, and if that was thrown a little bit out in front, he'd still be running.
Oh, and a bad snap. We talk about this all the time. They throw it, and it's intercepted by Spring Grove. Intercepted by Spring Grove.
Now they're saying it's incomplete. It doesn't really matter because he fell on the original line of scrimmage, so that's where the ball's going to be, whether it's an incompletion or an interception. But, man, what a play.
Well, we talk about this all the time, Kerry, how critical special teams are. And Governor Mifflin put in an uncharacteristic, situation here of having to get a kickoff back in their own end. And something they haven't experienced all year. Let's see how these Mustangs, respond here. 1:49 remaining in quarter 1.
Now, Bob talked about it, only punting 3 times so far this year. It's not something they do. They're very consistent, have a great special teams effort week in, week out, but punting's not one of the things they do often.
So that's Brooks, and he doesn't get a whole lot there.
Brooks gains a yard.
Regardless, though, that nice push by the offensive line.
2nd and 9. Center of the Mustang line.
Yeah, that's been the thing so far. Governor Mifflin has, given up some yardage on the defensive side. And Spring Grove here, the longer this goes, the more confidence an underdog gets.
And listen, this is an underdog, sure, but it's an 8-1 team. It's a team that can really run the football. It's the best season they've had in many years and the first time they've ever gotten to the semifinal round of the district championship.
So Brooks, not a whole lot there again. Governor Mifflin defense stacking things up.
With a hit, gain of a yard.
So now we tick under a minute to go here in this first quarter. Interesting play call here, guys. This is, I don't know. I would say if there's no significant gain here, maybe you do punt it away and try to pin them down. But you could call this with 4-down mentality. Call something a bit more conservative, cut the deficit in half to the first down marker, and then unleash something on 4th down, likely by the time the second quarter rolls around, as we're now at 25 and ticking here in the first.
So Osman now calling signals. 3rd and long, blitzing in is at Trey Rock. And wide open and a touchdown, 43 yards.
What a play by Osman. Are you kidding me? What did I say about a conservative 3rd down call? They're laughing at me on that sideline. Just hoists it down the field. That's an incredibly athletic play.
And the defender kind of lost track of the receiver. The receiver got behind him, and that equals 6. So Spring Grove strikes first.
Broken play and just a great job there. As Bob said, great job with the athleticism, getting that ball out there. And
snap down kick. And Osman, skies it through. So 7-0. Spring Grove, we've got 11.1 seconds remaining in quarter one. Not what anybody thought was going to happen in this game, Bob. What do you think?
It's a heck of a start from Spring Grove. Yeah, maybe most of the people watching the stream didn't necessarily believe this would happen, but the folks that did are the guys dressed in white right now. And on that sideline, there's a lot of excitement. Sure, a long way to go, but it's been driven by the fact that they've been able to set the edge against Nick Singleton, force him to the middle of the field where there's additional reinforcements. You're not going to bring him down with one guy. It's a team defensive mentality. Now, if you guys would, a little tradition that we have on Bob Long Sports down in Philadelphia is a segment we like to call Where Ya At? And that means that the folks that are watching on YouTube either tweet at us at Bob Long Sports or comment in the YouTube stream. Let us know who you are, where you're watching the game from, and we'll give you a shout out on the air, if that's okay by you, Bruce.
That's what Kerry always tries to do. We usually have a few people that shout out back at us. But anyway, Ozma now, and a short little pooch kick.
Whistles.
And not entirely sure what happened there.
Offside against Spring Grove is going to be the call. They'll back him up 5 yards.
That used to, didn't they? When did they change that rule, Kerry, that, the offsides on the kickoff, they called the play dead? I thought that there was an option in there.
You're right. And like that they would let it go like you'd see at the college or pro level with a regular offside. That's a player safety issue. And you've seen everything they've done at the NFL and college level to try to reduce the number of kickoffs that result in a return because you have that head-on-head collision at full speed. So that's what that's all about there, Bruce, trying to reduce the number of collisions. And that would be a senseless one, right, if they were going to re-kick it anyway. So that's the idea behind that rule.
So a little pooch kick now. Squibber picked up there.
Interesting, Carrie. You're giving up a lot of yardage there by doing that. I know Nick Singleton is back there, but
I was talking – both teams were doing that last week.
From the road, 43.
So Mifflin now down 7-0. I think this is the first time they've been down maybe since in 2 years they were down at near the end of the game to Pine Richland, and they certainly haven't been behind at all this year. So
7.3 seconds left here in the first quarter.
Right up the gut again. Looks like Gallen. And that's going to end the quarter with Spring Grove leading Governor Mifflin 7-0 here in the PIAA District 3 3A semifinal.
What a start, Carrie, huh? How about that?
I think if you kind of polled 100 people what the score would be at the end of the first quarter, the Rockets up 7-0. I don't know if there would have been a whole lot with that guess, but that's the reality that we have here in Shillington.
All right, let's hear from a word from our sponsor before we get back for the second.
Can't agree on anything, but one thing they can agree on. The right play is Empire Home Center.
We offer endless amounts of service. We'll go to great heights to help you. We're stacked with flooring with so many colors in stock.
Don't get crushed by the competition. When it comes to home remodeling, Empire has the product you need at the lowest price.
Thanks for stopping by.
Empire Home Center. We build your empire for less.
From special support from Wynn Marketing on this broadcast. Thank you very much for your support of high school sports.
The fact that this is a broadcast for all to see and hear is fantastic. We appreciate those sponsors.
Aiden Martin. And he's got the first down for Governor Mifflin.
First down, Mustangs.
They set that play up well, Carrie. On the last play of the quarter, they had that guy come in motion but handed it off to the fullback. Maybe didn't see the adjustment on the defensive side that they expected, Carrie, and so that time they said, all right, we'll throw it to that guy.
No, and Aiden Martin's a player for Governor Mifflin. Doesn't always get the amount of touches that some of the other guys, but last year we had him in a game. He was our player of the game. He had a touchdown 3 different ways. He had on offense, pick 6 on D, and recovered a fumble on a punt on special teams. So certainly a big-time playmaker. He was a playmaker for Governor Mifflin last year and a mainstay on this team, and especially on defense this year.
All right, so Mifflin now on somewhat of a drive. They got 2nd down and 3, balls on the Spring Grove 38-yard line.
Please reset the game clock to 11:22. 11:22.
Second quarter, moving the clock from 11:11 to 11:22. 11:22 left here in the second. The Mustangs on the Comet side of the field. 2nd down 3 from the Comets. Rockets 38.
So
11:22 on the game clock. 11:22.
trying to get the game clock ready to go here.
Have you ever worked one of those things, though?
They're
Some
not
of them
easy.
aren't as easy as it looks.
No, they're definitely not as easy as it looks.
It's really easy to armchair clock operate.
Did it once when I was coaching high school ball. Head coach and I were in the booth for a junior high game, and we both struggled with it.
Well, you know what? Maybe we'll take the opportunity to tell you about some of the folks where they're watching the game from. We appreciate these folks checking in with us. Annette watching from Brecknock Township, Berks County, saying go Mustangs.
Yeah, Brecknock Township.
Diane Evans watching from Philadelphia. Number 3 is her grandson, Aiden Johnson.
Rock on the carry.
So Rock, that's his first carry of the night for a 1st down. Governor Mifflin finally getting some momentum on offense.
And again, Trey Rock's been a household name, especially over the last 2 seasons. Again, he was part of that 1-2 tandem at linebacker last year with Strausser, and Strausser now up at Kutztown University, and of course they're the #1 team in Super Region 1 heading into the D2 playoffs. And also at fullback, we've seen Gallen, but now Rock getting the carries as well.
Singleton. Yeah, not for a whole lot there on 1st down.
I mean, that's a heck of a team tackle, right, Carrie? That's how you do it.
No, absolutely, and that's kind of the consistency we've seen so far in this first half by that defense, getting 3-4, those white jerseys to the ball carrier each time. Great discipline, great job on their assignments.
A lot of the folks on this broadcast and watching the broadcast know the story. #1 running back recruit in the country, 5-star prospect, going to Penn State.
And Johnson, boy, he fooled everybody, including me, and he's got the 1st down, or very close.
No, good read on that pull, and again, you'll see that triple action often with this Mifflin offense. There's the option to dish it out to the fullback, and then it's the Eden Johnson, Nick Singleton show. Is he going to pitch it out, let Nick take it, or is it going to be the quarterback keeping it?
Singleton. And he's down the sidelines.
First out of bounds. At the Rocket.
Mifflin on its most successful drive of the night here so far. Getting inside the 10 now. 1st and goal from the 9. 9:25 left here in the second quarter from Shillington. Governor Mifflin is knocking on the door. Ball's on the right hash. Twins, 2 receivers up top to the wide side.
And that's Gallen, and he is in for the touchdown. Aiden Gallen in from the 9-yard line, and Governor Mifflin gets back into this game
every week, just more and more impressed with Gallen, and this second half of the season has just really emerged as a punishing force. We saw him get some little bit longer runs last week too, but just so tough, between the tackles, right off tackle, and gets Governor Mifflin on the board tonight for the first time here in the second quarter. 9:21 left.
So Jackson Schools boots it through them. We're tied at 7. 9:21 here remaining until halftime. Governor Mifflin and Spring Grove.
Jackson Schools, Mr. Consistent with those PATs, throughout the season, and with all the PAT opportunities that you get here kicking at Governor Mifflin, there are some weeks where he has more points than some of the other players on the opposing teams just by kicking those extra points.
Couple more folks checking in. Theo from Spring Grove. Steve Green checking in from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Aaron, a band mom, watching from Spring Grove. Got a lot of Spring Grove folks checking in, folks.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Got some folks from Maryland, Kennett Square, Kutztown, Waynesboro, Pennsylvania, Kutztown University, folks checking in.
Fantastic.
How about Fort Worth, Texas?
Fort Worth, Texas. Hey, we haven't had anybody from Fort Worth yet, Carrie, have we?
No, we've had Brett and his guys out in Cali when he was out there. We had Lewis on several different cruises check in from all over the continent. Alabama, down to Florida, up into New England. Out in the Midwest, I remember we had folks, but maybe our first from Texas.
Well, there's that proverbial pooch kick.
Kreitz has it.
Nice run. And see, you just cannot give teams only half the field to run. Obviously we've got a third man in the booth tonight, Bob Long, but I think you're somewhat in agreement with me is that you have to have some fortitude that you're going to stop this guy who gets the ball. You have to have enough confidence in your special teams. And all we're seeing is these guys just pooch it and give the other team great field position to start at midfield. That just makes no sense.
Listen, Bruce, we're going to put you on a TED Talk soon. Your TED Talk is going to be kick it deep. Kick it deep.
Don't encourage it, Bob. Don't encourage it.
All right, 1st and 10 now. And that's Brooks. And, they've held him in check tonight. He had one good run, but he's been stuffed pretty much just about every time.
I've spent weeks just trying to ignore Bruce's rant about kickoffs.
I'm playing right into it, Carrie.
Yeah, you're feeding the beast.
So we have another person checking in from Honolulu. How's that for you?
Yeah, I want to come on. He's got to verify the fact that he's in Hawaii, okay?
What, do you want a picture on the beach?
Sure, exactly. Picture on the beach of somebody. Look, we had our show producer put out a picture on Twitter of him watching one of our Friday night football games while he was on a cruise in the Caribbean. So if he's in Hawaii, then, prove it.
Prove it. Here's one I can prove for you. Abdul Carter. You know him from LaSalle High School. He was on your pre-snap look show, Bruce.
He was.
He says he's checking in, watching his future teammate.
Wow.
Nick Singleton.
Incredible. Wow, what reach have we got for this broadcast tonight? Thanks to our buddy Bob Long, making the trek up from Philadelphia. Can't say enough how we're appreciative of him joining the Premium Sports Network for this broadcast. So Spring Grove now, 3rd down and about 7. Quickly out to the side and breaks a tackle. That was number 30, but I don't believe he got there.
No, so while you guys were talking about sunny destinations, back here in blustery Shillington, very good job by us Governor Mifflin defense, really being very staunch on this drive, stopping the run game, stopping that pass there on 3rd down. We did have one of our officials kind of go down back there on 2nd down. He is back up.
Another one of these plays, guys. They're at the Governor Mifflin 48, need 4.
And they're gonna add a timeout on Mifflin.
Listen, they may have seen something, or at least were suspicious of something. You have the quarterback and your best athlete back there punting the football. We've seen it at high school before where if that athlete sees something he likes, he can approach, he can rugby style it, he can head towards the line, make a decision at the last minute that he wants to punt it. I would not be surprised, now maybe not after this timeout, but if he gets the right look, you could see that.
Absolutely.
The guy screaming through there for Governor Mifflin, number 2, Trey Rock. I don't think there's anybody else I'd rather have screaming back there to take on that situation.
All right.
So Singleton and Johnson back deep to receive. Heels at the 17.
So Osman, he does kick it. And a fair catch by Singleton, and it bounces, takes a Mifflin bounce back upfield to the 25-yard line.
Rockets cover the punt, 1st and 10 Mustangs at their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, he came up there. I thought he was going to make that play, made the safe decision, and a little bit of backspin. Gives them 5 more yards to work with.
Regardless, great job by the Governor Mifflin defense on that drive and really stymieing the O and getting your offense back on the field. Of course, last drive resulted in a touchdown for Governor Mifflin. 75 yards to pay dirt on this one.
So let's see how Mifflin does here.
A little old school Mifflin offense.
McNeil is the quarterback, and he takes it right up the middle for a first down.
Shoestring tackle saved a lot more as well.
Boy, he just saw that opening and just darted right through it. So down to about 6:50 here in the first half. We're tied at 7 here at Shillington between Governor Mifflin and Spring Grove.
As quick of a first 18 minutes of a football game as you'll ever see. At 7:40, we didn't even start right at 7.
Exactly. Oh, that's Trey Rock there, and he just lowered his head.
Got a few up the middle, gain of 3.
Take that back. That was Aiden Gallen.
The 40.
But again, this Rockets defense, the consistency, good job with the run fits, and 3-4 tacklers at the ball carrier on each of these runs. 6:09 left here, second quarter.
We got Florida, Texas, and Arizona check in. And believe what you want, Bruce. Also sunny destinations.
Yeah, right. I mean, we're freezing our butts off here outside. and Gallen is bursting through. He's still on his feet. Down to the 37-yard line. Aiden Gallen.
Yeah, and as Gallen's touches have increased and he's gotten those tough yards inside, we started to see more and more of this, Bruce. It's not just the 4, 5, 6-yard gains. We're starting to see him break some more of these longer runs, and just a great job. Great job up front by Mifflin. Great job by Gallen, and 2 positive drives here by Mifflin. The last one resulted in a touchdown back on the Rocket side of the field now.
And some chains movers, right?
McNeil.
10-plus yard runs.
That's Rock with the ball this time, and he's got a good gain on first down.
For about 7.
Starting to impose their will, Carrie. You said you're an offensive lineman. You have to like to see the real line of scrimmage and what's being exuded when that ball is snapped. 2 different things right now.
No, we kind of see it from both of these offensive lines getting the push, but quick up to the ball. You know, this is an exciting time to be offensive lineman. Just bang.
Around the edges, Singleton, and scooting up. Oh, he just blasts through a guy. Oh, we've got to see the instant replay of this. Instant replay carry of Nick Singleton. Watch this. This is incredible. Takes the pitch from Delson McNeil, goes around the end, and why he's just going to run this guy. Oh, my gosh.
Bob and Bruce watching the replay. Everybody that got to see that live here is just impressed. And again, he was breaking away from kids and putting distance between themselves way back in his freshman season. Now he just runs people over.
Listen, you give Darian Osmond credit, right? You're getting in front of the freight train and trying to take him down. Nick Singleton lays the lick. And they had a couple of those chains moving plays. Those 10, 15-yard runs. wear down the defense. Nick Singleton takes off.
Well, it's taken Mifflin a little bit to kind of get their mojo going, but that was a typical Mifflin mojo drive, Kerry. What do you think?
Well, again, so not a whole lot of points on the board for them in the first quarter, but we've seen this movie before, Bruce, and it's just taking over the game. It may not be from the opening kickoff, but once they start to do the things that we just saw the last two drives, it can get ugly in a hurry. But again, we got a lot of football in front of us, and again, very tight game, just one score, 14-7, Governor Mifflin up. But we know they play with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of pride, a lot of aggression, controlled aggression, and we'll see where this one goes.
So Governor Mifflin now set to kick off. Jackson Schools. Yeah, back deep is Braden Merrill along with Zaire Brooks. But it doesn't get there again. It's an up guy who takes it up to the 42-yard line.
Yep, Austin Kreitz. Flag comes first. Let's see what we have here. But, yeah, you're right. You're just handing him the ball at the 40.
Yeah, I mean,
let's see what Andrew Osmond has done here, what he can do on this drive. He made the play. He threw the touchdown and, quite frankly, extended the play to even give Spring Grove the opportunity. We talk a lot about Nick Singleton on this broadcast, but Andrew Osmond's still just a junior. He's really the bell cow in a lot of ways, both running and throwing the ball for Spring Grove. And they're going to ask a lot of him here. 4:45 to go first half. Chance to gain some momentum if they can drive this one down the field.
Osmond to Brooks, trying him out wide, and he's got some space. And a first down. Out of bounds at about the Mifflin 47-yard line. That's the first sizable gain that he's got, Kerry. Showed a different look, brought him across the formation, and it was pretty successful that time.
And I believe we have a flag down. So, again, working to get outside, weaving.
We saw a lot of that last week against Twin Valley. That was more of the stuff they ran, especially early on. Today they've gone more to that shotgun look with the running back just off the quarterback. But, again, in the early stages against Twin Valley, a decisive victory for Spring Grove. They ran a lot more looks like that, bringing the running back Zaire Brooks across in a jet sweep. And I'll tell you what, that asks a lot of your receivers as well, Bruce. You had two guys out there, I think, unfortunately for Spring Grove, holding was called against one of those receivers, but asked to take on a defensive back or a linebacker one-on-one and push down the field. It's asking a lot, but I like the effort from this Spring Grove wide receiver core.
Backfield. This is Brooks again, and he's got some running room, at least for a couple. So second down now for Spring Grove, about 12. Down to 4:15 to go here in the first half, and we're Mifflin up 14-7 over Spring Grove in a game. Quite honestly, a lot of people didn't think was going to be this close. I think Spring Grove has done a great job so far.
I say it a lot. The next play is the most important one. We got trips out here to the left.
Osmond rolling, trying to get away from that Mifflin rush. And a nice flip. That's the number 30, Braden Merrill. And a nice gain.
Merrill gains about 5. Third.
It was a man-to-man look, Bruce. The linebacker came up. Merrill slid in behind as the other folks ran streaks. And Merrill found a way to get to the sideline, find a pocket against this man-to-man, and turn upfield. Third and manageable coming up.
So I think a very important play here. Certainly they want to keep this drive going and not turn the ball back over to Mifflin with any time left on the clock here in the first half.
Critical point.
Osmond. He's got no place to go, and he goes down for about a 2-yard loss. Just remember that play right there.
It's a big difference between gain that first down, keeping the drive going, possibly, tying it at 14 versus giving the ball back to Mifflin and potentially heading into halftime down 2 scores.
So Singleton back for the Osmond punt.
The only guy back. We've seen Aiden Johnson go back before, but this one just Singleton as we tick under 3 minutes to go in the first half.
And as you pointed out, don't forget you've got the quarterback, but this is the first time in prototypical punting formation and a flag, and I think we had a timeout called.
Yeah, both the gunners down here on the left side.
So Springford calls the timeout. Look, I think it's a good timeout. If there's any questions in their mind at all of what's going on, you certainly don't want to do it with, 2 minutes and 51 seconds to go in the first half and Nick Singleton hanging out back there.
Bear in mind also, it was Governor Mifflin that received the opening kickoff of the game. So Spring Grove will receive in the second half and looking to hang on here, make one more defensive stand to keep this 1-score deficit heading into the break.
Football stand, hot cider, lollipops.
So 2:51 to go. Governor Mifflin still always in scoring position as we talk about a lot here whenever Nick Singleton's on the field. So Osmond, and he does boot it, and I don't think it went 5 yards, did it?
No, this is a decent punt.
Okay.
It takes a great hop, Bruce.
I thought it was heading off to the side there.
Give him a punt down inside the 20, Bruce. Mark it down on the score sheet.
Best kick of the night, and I'm sitting there looking at the ball thinking it's like going over the sideline.
You were following one of them burrito wrappers there, Bruce.
Burrito wrapper. Maybe it's one of your old Cheetos wrappers from one of the previous games.
I always pick up my trash, Bruce.
All right, Mifflin now starting the drive on the 19-yard line. We've got 2 minutes and 39 seconds remaining in the first half with a 14-7 lead. That's Eden Johnson gives to Nick Singleton, and boy, he had his motor going, but he didn't get much, maybe about 4.
5 yards.
Nice stop there defensively by Michael Hershey.
This is where those timeouts that they kind of wasted earlier in the half could be very valuable as we wind down the clock here in the first half down to 2:15 remaining. So Eden Johnson.
It's going to be really close, Bruce. Might be a half yard short. Nope. Already waving the chains along. First down.
First down.
So they'll stop the clock momentarily as they reset the chains. But Mifflin not in a huge hurry here.
They aren't. And, they've kept, Singleton pretty much between the tackles tonight with the exception of that one where he kind of burst out for the touchdown. He's been pretty well held in check and held within the tackles. So here's Singleton picking his way very close to a first down, and he's out of bounds. Nope, they signal him that he stayed within the field of play before his forward progress was stopped. So that's going to be short of the first down.
And the clock still runs.
And the clock's running, as you said.
1:30 and ticking.
Second and a yard for the Mustangs.
So now Mifflin in the hurry up. Eden Johnson to Singleton, picking his way, and he is down the sideline and out of bounds, and he's got a first down.
Clock stopped at 1 minute, 11 seconds to go.
But you got to give Spring Grove a lot of credit. They have they've held this Mifflin offense in check. Albeit, Mifflin with some uncharacteristic, penalties. But Eden Johnson. Looks like he's going under center here. Singleton the tailback. In front is Aiden Gallen. They're giving it to who else? Nick Singleton, just a couple of yards. Mifflin's got to get in the hurry up here.
Whistled on the field. Clock stopped. Oh, no, the clock, yeah, now it is stopped. Holding called against Governor Mifflin. And, again, as I watch that clock, it's at 55.8 seconds left in the half, and that play ended and was whistled dead at about a minute. So,
a few seconds there. But just like we talked about, Kerry, I mean, not characteristic of Governor Mifflin, you know, with the penalties here in the first half.
Not those types of penalties. Not the miscues.
Holding offense, number 45. Repeat first down. Clock will start on the ready for play.
So first down, and gosh, it looks like 21. Not that that really matters with under a minute to go. And they're going to throw the ball. Johnson signaling deep, going deep. That's Aiden Martin with a great grab and out of bounds. Aiden Martin, wow, watch him with this grab. Johnson wasn't the prettiest pass, but boy, you got the job done. Kind of fluttered up there. Mifflin quickly up to the line. And Spring Grove, I believe, called the timeout.
Well, Governor Mifflin doesn't pass often, but when they do, they connect big. I think we've seen
well,
that.
That's the 12th. When you can count them on your, fingers and toes, that's not a lot.
Yeah, again, Aiden Martin, big-time player as a sophomore last year, now in his junior year this year, early offer from Temple. He's a playmaker. Again, we're not calling his name every series, but when he does get the ball, the big play capabilities are there. And he's put Mifflin in a heck of a position here with 42.2 left in the second quarter here in the first half with a 1st and 10 at the 19. So inside the red zone.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, just that quick. Just like you talked about, Kerry. I mean, the next play is the most important. And
well, when we go back to that last drive, the Rockets there, and that's why I said if they could have extended it and got the first down, there's a big difference of 14-14, 14-7 versus what potentially we're looking at here of going into half at 21-7 and down 2 scores to Mifflin.
That's just the 12th completion of the year for Mifflin.
Johnson, he's got a lot of room out there, and he throws it. Oh, incomplete.
Boy, it sure looked like he was past the line of scrimmage when he delivered that ball, didn't it?
Yeah, yes. It was for Aiden Young, pass intended, and he had a lot of room to run himself.
Yeah, I was surprised he didn't just pull that and go.
It was close. It was close. Probably an okay call. Every piece of your body, every body part has to be past the line of scrimmage for that to be an illegal forward pass, and I think the backside of him may have still been on that line. Good no call.
Now the key thing, only 37 seconds remain here in the first half. Now we're back in the I formation. Gallen and Singleton, and Gallen's got it. Up the middle.
Gallen for 5.
I was going to say, I mean, and they're letting the clock run. I'm surprised that when you call that play, you aren't calling timeout right afterwards.
I would expect a sweep of some kind here, huh?
Quickly, Gallen again on a dive play, trying for the first down.
I don't think he got it.
He did not.
12 seconds left.
Now a timeout. Well, look, they've called 12 seconds before at midfield to give Nick Singleton a chance. And right now, it looks like they're at about the 12 to 13 yard line. So significantly better odds, but we'll see. Clearly, I think we all know who's going to get the ball on this play. It's the last play. In theory,
it's 4th down and 2.
That's right.
So they could stop them, and it would be a turnover. Or you could get a first down, stay inbounds. Clock would stop momentarily. They could try to get up and spike it. He could be out of bounds. Obviously, that's ideal. That or in the end zone for Governor Mifflin. But Spring Grove trying to protect those sidelines, trying to keep Nick Singleton in bounds. Then, of course, trying to stop him on 4th down, trying to induce a turnover here, which would be a huge momentum swing for Spring Grove.
Well, like I said, it's...
So we saw Mifflin run into the short side of the field throughout the first quarter primarily, but the ball's on the left hash. Wide side of the field is to the right. I would say you get to Singleton out in space. And
now
they're going to kick a field goal. Okay. Jackson
see what Schools has.
Now looks like that's about a timeout for, I got to believe, Spring Grove.
That is their final timeout.
They had no idea. And now it's going to be interesting to see the chess match that goes on between Coach Lang and Spring Grove. I mean, is Coach Lang going to actually go through with this field goal?
I was just getting ready to say we're on the left hash. You got all this space there, right? Get Nick out in space and go for it.
I mean, Nick Singleton has his heels all in the field, helmet on, just kind of looking, taking a few steps towards the huddle there.
The Trey Rock, the long snapper, taking some warm-up snaps.
It looks like they are going to try this field goal with Jackson Schools. Looks like it's going to be a 27-yard attempt. Delson McNeil is the holder. Just remember, he's a backup quarterback. So 27-yard attempt from Jackson Schools. Snap down. There's the kick. And it is good! Jackson Schools, 27-yard field goal. Gives Mifflin a 17-7 lead, and he made that with plenty to spare, Kerry.
That was a great job by Schools. Again, talked about earlier, his consistency with the point after attempts all season long. Great job on the conversion there on the field goal.
So just remember, I mean, I talked about it. I mean, Mifflin didn't get the touchdown, but that big third down stop by Governor Mifflin's defense for against Springford there at midfield, that allowed Mifflin, the opportunity to get down the field for more points.
Okay, Bruce, now's the time where I think you can kick a squibber. And I would expect nothing else.
Yeah.
9 seconds left in the half.
Exactly right. I mean, there is a time and a place for it, not every kickoff. So Schools now got the hands team up front. He's just got to kick it over those guys. They kicked it through. And all the way back to the deep man. And look at there. See, I mean, get him all the way back to the 30-yard line.
You get one play from scrimmage here. 3 seconds left in the half. I would expect just a victory formation and to kneel this one down.
It's a playoff game, Bob.
Yeah, we'll
take
see.
a shot.
Yeah, take a shot.
What's the worst thing that could happen?
Well,
a pick six. But
that is correct, a pick six. But I mean, I think
a victory formation
I think that sends a message to your team. If you're going for it here, then you're trying to win the game, and it sure looks like they are going for it here. Big spread formation. This is going to be interesting. Last play of the half, 3.5 seconds to go. Ball on their own 31.
Trips down below, one up top.
And they give it. Running there is Brooks. And they kind of contain him, and that's going to end the first half. So at the end of one half of play here, Governor Mifflin leads Spring Grove 17-7. Bob, I mean, we've been talking all half about the fact that, this has been a lot different performance by Governor Mifflin than all season long. What are your take on this one?
Well, I think you have to give the opposition some credit. Spring Grove, I think it's been a team defense approach. It's been less about how am I going to tackle Nick Singleton, and it's more about how do I force him to more help, force him to the middle of the field. 17-point output for Governor Mifflin. I don't think they're going to be entirely displeased with that. A 2-score game heading to the second half. The field goal is big. Spring Grove will get the football in the second half, but again, trailing by 2 scores, I think that's meaningful. But Spring Grove has played very well. Very impressed by what we've seen out of the quarterback. He's been fantastic here today. Andrew Osmond, I think they're going to have to open up the playbook a bit in the second half, Bruce. This is primarily a running team, similar to what we see with Governor Mifflin. But down 10, they may have to open things up, and Osmond's a guy with the arm to do it.
Gary, your thoughts?
Spring Grove, incredible job on defense. I think they were disciplined. I think they did a great job of doing their assignments and getting 3-4 of those white jerseys to the ball carriers. Just a great job. And again, couple big plays there. Nick Singleton, busting one there, running over some guys. But I think they've done an incredible job on defense tonight. I don't think anyone else has done what they've been able to do so far tonight on defense. This is certainly not the usual throwing up the 50 that we see out of Governor Mifflin. So Spring Grove, excellent job from my perspective on defense tonight.
I just think that Spring Grove, if they want to continue to stay in this game, has to get Zyree Brooks more touches and more involved in the game. I think that they've got to play just like we talked about. They can't get too over anxious. They've got to stay disciplined, and they've got to run the football. And Brooks has got to get a little bit more involved, at least in positive plays. He's carried the ball enough. He just hasn't gotten enough yardage. And for Governor Mifflin, they showed glimmers of their offense there at the end of the second quarter, but they've had uncharacteristic penalties. Haven't really looked sharp on offense overall. So we're going to take it away here for some commercials, and then I'll be back with Matt Knob from the Reading Eagle just to talk about Governor Mifflin football and first half stats. We'll be back.
Kids can't agree on anything, but one thing they can agree on. The right play is Empire Home Center.
We offer endless amounts of service. We'll go to great heights to help you. We're stacked with flooring with so many colors in stock.
Don't get crushed by the competition. When it comes to home remodeling, Empire has the product you need at the lowest price.
Thanks for stopping by.
Empire Home Center. We build your empire for less. Kids can't agree on anything, but one thing they can agree on. The right play is Empire Home Center.
We offer endless amounts of service. We'll go to great heights to help you. We're stacked with flooring with so many colors in stock.
Don't get crushed by the competition. When it comes to home remodeling, Empire has the product you need at the lowest price.
Thanks for stopping by.
Empire Home Center. We build your empire for less.
Well, Bruce, I don't claim to have everybody's stats, but
all right, Bruce Badgley here, Matt Knob of the Reading Eagle. Hey, welcome, my man. I mean,
I'm happy to be on here, Bruce.
I tell you what,
it's a pleasure.
You're part of the deck now. I mean, you've been up here for the last couple of games. I got to get this thing off here before we get too far. I mean, I am so discombobulated here with this cold weather and whatever like that. Not that, we don't like football weather, but,
right.
It's been a lot of fun on the deck here. I mean, tell us a little bit about, before we get into the game here, tell everybody here, from Reading, a little bit about Matt Knob and what got you here.
Well, I am the news sports reporter at the Reading Eagle newspaper. I started in September, so I'm about 2 months into the job. I graduated from Penn State with a broadcast journalism degree and a sports journalism certificate in May. Had an internship out in Altoona over the summer, and then I'm here In Reading. I live in Boyertown, graduated from Boyertown area senior high back in 2017, so I'm a Berks County guy.
Well, that's great. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, to get to know you here over the last few weeks, I mean, we're kind of running the same route. We were at Berks Catholic during the monsoon. Last week you were out here on the deck. You're out here again. Talk a little bit about, Governor Mifflin and just Berks County football in general this season.
Well, this season, obviously, it's been strong. 5 teams still going: Exeter, Mifflin, Berks Catholic, Wilson tomorrow, big game against Harrisburg. So I'd say the county's strong as far as high school football is concerned. Next year will certainly be interesting with the impending merger with the Lancaster-Lebanon League. But as focusing on this season, it's certainly a top-heavy league.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun for me. It's always great, guys that actually do this for a living. I mean, you guys do such a great job, covering high school football. But to talk a little bit about the first half, what were, some of your observations on what went on the football field?
Well, it was a little bit slower than last week, Bruce. Obviously, we were here last week, and it was just touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. I think both teams really slowed it down today, and you saw it in the first quarter. Spring Grove sort of had the momentum, 7-0 lead, and then, we saw the Mustangs that we're used to there putting up 17 unanswered points in the second quarter and taking that 17-7 lead into halftime. If you want a stat that sort of shows it all, first downs for Governor Mifflin 13, Spring Grove 2. I mean, that sort of shows it right there. You had the one big play for Spring Grove that got them the touchdown. Otherwise, offense has been hard to come by for the Rockets.
Yeah, and even with those first downs for Governor Mifflin, they've been uncharacteristically sloppy on offense. They've had some penalties that have hurt them. They haven't really looked crisp out there until really the second quarter. About halfway through the second quarter, seemed like that's when they kind of revved it up a little bit.
Yeah, you're talking about penalties. They had 4 penalties for 35 yards, uncharacteristic. Last week they had a lot of penalties too, which I think kept Warwick in the game throughout the first half before the Mustangs pulled away. But Governor Mifflin sort of hit their stride there in the second quarter, and they started feeding Singleton the ball. You saw early it was Gallon up with 70 yards in the first half, Singleton 91. So it's sort of a 1-2 punch for the Mustangs.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it's not like, when you look at or hear those types of yardages, you're going like, well, that's not really a bad half. Well, that's kind of a bad half the way that Governor Mifflin plays football.
Right. If you're talking about last week, it was Singleton, 15 carries for 330. Today, 10 carries, 91 yards. So if you're Spring Grove and you held them under 100 yards in the first half, I kind of think you have only one touchdown for Singleton alone. I kind of have to think, that's a victory. If you're Spring Grove, you're still in this game. It's only 17-7.
Yeah, and that's a really good football team over there. I mean, granted, their one loss was to a 6A opponent, Central York. They pretty much ran right through their schedule, over there in York County. So, good football team. I think that, they've got to get a little bit patient too. I mean, they have to kind of play that, ball control style offense. Just like you said, 2 first downs isn't going to cut it. And just like I talked about, Zaire Brooks, he's got to get on track on offense and be able to run the football.
Right. If you saw Brooks, I know the last play there right before the half was sort of garbage time, but Brooks' 2 long runs were off tackle to the outside. Up the middle, Governor Mifflin is giving the Spring Grove almost no space to run the ball.
Yeah, and look, they're not, a passing team, but, they did have some effective gains, throwing the football a little bit there too, but yet the perspective you get, they still only had 2 first downs in the first half. I mean, any other, statistical analysis of any other game, you're going like, boy, the Mifflin defense really played well. Well, they did. It just didn't visually look that intimidating.
Right. It didn't look that way. You subtract the 43-yard touchdown pass that Spring Grove had. The offense was, very slim to none. But you're right, Bruce. It didn't feel or look dominant in the first half, even though that is what the numbers show. But if you're Spring Grove, if you want to have any chance on offense, I think spread the field, use the whole width of the field, try to, widen the gaps, because right now there's a Mustangs defensive lineman in every gap.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Well, I tell you what, we're going to go back to some commercials, Matt. I tell you what, it's a pleasure sharing the deck with you, man.
Absolutely,
Appreciate you, all
Bruce.
your, stats, help, and whatever like that. And, welcome back to Berks County, and welcome to the sports scene here in Berks County. I know that, I'm a subscriber to the Reading Eagle, and it's been great reading your stuff. So thanks a lot. I really appreciate everything you do for sports here in Berks County.
I appreciate it, Bruce, and thanks to all the viewers.
All right. We'll be back in a little bit.
Kids can't agree on anything, but one thing they can agree on: the right play is Empire Home Center.
We offer endless amounts of service. We'll go to great heights to help you. We're stacked with flooring with so many colors in stock.
Don't get crushed by the competition. When it comes to home remodeling, Empire has the product you need at the lowest price.
Thanks for stopping by.
Empire Home Center. We build your empire for less.
All right, welcome back to Governor Mifflin Stadium. Bruce Badgley, Bob Long, Kerry Moyer. Thanks to our sponsors, Win Marketing and Empire Surplus Home Center, for your support of this broadcast. And we're just about ready to start the second half.
Bruce, I personally appreciate that support. Like we said in the first half, it's wonderful for these athletes to have their accomplishments and their play highlighted to as large an audience as you can get. We have a great audience watching here tonight. We appreciate that, and we appreciate the sponsors making that happen. So, as you hear these reads for these sponsors, pay it forward. Check them out. Use their services where you can, because these are the folks that are doing right by high school athletes.
Absolutely. So we're ready for the second half. Governor Mifflin to kick off.
Big drive here, Bruce. Spring Grove going to get the football. Andrew Osman, Zaire Brooks going to have an opportunity to march it down the field. They've done a great job to this point.
At squib kick, and good play there.
They've done a great job to this point of controlling the clock to some aspect. That first quarter played exactly into their hands. Governor Mifflin started to move the line of scrimmage down the field in the latter stages of the second quarter, but a chance out of the break, Bruce, to reset, make some adjustments. Let's see what Osmond does for this Spring Grove offense.
Yeah, absolutely. I felt that they, still throughout all of this, that they needed to be patient. And let's see what they do. So 1st and 10 now. Osmond, he's got some room. And out of bounds. Looks like he's got a first down, and they called a penalty.
Yeah, it's going to be a first down and some more. Was able to push him out of bounds, but kind of rode him all the way over to the benches, and that drew the flag.
And that's just a read option, Bruce. Reading that free defensive end, Osmond makes the right read, and a great start for Spring Grove.
After the penalty, 1st and 10, Spring Grove.
So big play to start, coupled with the penalty. And Spring Grove in business to start the second half. 1st and 10 now. Ball's on the Governor Mifflin 43-yard line. Osman now in the shotgun, calling signals. Brooks, he's got some room. Look at here, and there he goes. Down the sidelines and in for the touchdown, 43 yards. That's what I said, guys. They had to get Brooks involved, and wow, great play there. Opened up off tackle, and he went to the house.
Great job on that run. Eight Martin in pursuit, and just kept working it to the outside to find the end zone.
Great seal by the offensive lineman, but then it's Brooks making guys miss at the second level like we know he can, like he has all year. Big part of the reason that Spring Grove was 8-1 coming in. Their best season to this point, that's no good. It's going to be 17-13. But a big part of the reason that they're here, we talked to the coach pregame, Bruce, their first time in a district semifinal as a program and acquitting themselves quite well.
Yeah, absolutely. Uncharted waters here for Spring Grove. And, Governor Mifflin, hey, they went all the way to the state semifinal in 5A last year. I mean, they've got a lot of experience in these pressure-packed situations. So let's see if Governor Mifflin kind of raises the bar a little bit here this second half.
I kind of think, Bob talked about it before the half with the Rockets having the opportunity to get the football first here, and we just saw they capitalized on it. But, talking about it at halftime, I think it was huge keeping Governor Mifflin out of the end zone and forcing them to kick the field goal at the end of the half. That would have been, a big difference going in to down, 2 scores being 21 instead of 17, and exactly what the doctor ordered, coming out and being successful in that first drive on offense.
Well, there's the proverbial squibber. That's Trey Rock. And he's up to about the 42-yard line.
Just set your watch to it. Go out to the 40.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's starting between the 40 and 50-yard line on every possession. So 1st and 10, Governor Mifflin. They're up 17-13 here, 11:35. In quarter number 3 remaining in the PIAA District 3 5A semifinal. Bruce Badgley, Bob Long, Kerry Moyer, Brett Moyer on camera. Thanks for joining us. We've had everybody chiming in from all over the country and even the ships at sea, I think. So had a nice play there on first down, right up the gut for Aiden Gallen.
7.
So Gallen getting a lot of touches to start the game for the first drive for Mifflin, and starting out the second half here. Again, the first touch for Mifflin on offense, picking up 7.
And that one wasn't just an automatic give. That was a read, and the quarterback recognizes that Kreitz was coming off the edge, made the right read, giving up the middle.
First down for Gallen. I mean, he lowered his head and delivered a blow.
You could hear the pop up here.
In Rocket territory at the 46-yard line.
One more look at this one. Defender squares him up.
And boom. Oh, man, that's got to hurt. That has just got to hurt. So, Governor Mifflin, 1st and 10. Ball now on the 46-yard line of Spring Grove.
Ball on the right hash. 2 receivers up top for Mifflin.
Gallen again. Mifflin seems to be just satisfied with pounding the ball right up the middle.
Well, it condenses that defense, Bruce. Spring Grove recognizes now they have to protect the center of the field. At some point, they'll take their shot on the outside with a sweep to Nick Singleton.
And up the middle that time, not for a whole lot.
Might be enough, though, for a first. They're going to mark him a yard short. 3rd down and 1 yard to go.
We saw Mifflin start the game last week doing this. We saw the first series tonight, and now the first series on offense in the second half for Mifflin, just having Gallen pound the ball.
So here's Singleton, and he's got it down the sidelines, and he's gone! Just that quick! 37 yards for Nick Singleton, and Governor Mifflin moves the lead out to 24. Excuse me, 23-13.
And that time Spring Grove didn't set the edge. Had too many guys there in the middle of the field, no doubt, part driven by Aiden Gallen and what he was able to do up the middle.
Snap down, kick, good for Jackson Schools.
Great job by Schools. Again, consistency all season long with those point-after attempts. Puts Mifflin on top with 9:34 left here in the third quarter. We're in the second half now at Governor Mifflin High School in Shillington. Governor Mifflin up 24-13. Of course, the Rockets successful in their first drive coming out here in the second half. Did miss on the point-after attempt. So we have a 11-point difference.
Boy, just that quick. You know, I mean, a lot of points really fast here to start the second half. Quick strike capability by the running backs on both sides. So Mifflin now ready to kick it off. And another squibber in the same spot. And great return there again for Spring Grove. That was Austin Kreitz.
Kreitz has gotten a lot of those.
Rockets 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line.
And Kreitz has done a nice job all night getting north and south and getting positive yards on those. 9:28 left here in the third quarter.
So Spring Grove now. Let's see what quarterback Andrew Osmond has up his sleeve at the moment. And he gives it to Brooks, and not a whole lot there. Aiden Gallen penetrated and forced him outside. So good defensive play by Mifflin on first down. It's going to be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I really thought as the first half started to come to a close that the Mifflin defense started to get a little bit more tight and staunch with their efforts. 8:55 left here in the third quarter. 24-13 Mifflin on top.
So Osmond now calling signals. Brooks. And he's brought down hard.
Brooks gains a yard. 87 for the Mustangs. Attacks Washington.
So good defensive stand there by Mifflin so far on this drive.
The Rockets have crossed midfield to the Mifflin 49. 3rd and 7 coming up.
I think a big play here. If Mifflin wants to gain control of this ball game. Osmond now rolling, looking, deep down the field, and incomplete. Good coverage. He had nobody to throw to there, Kerry.
No, but, great job. Great job getting out. Left-handed quarterback. Nice job squaring up, getting the ball downfield. Good job on the defense by Mifflin, and it's going to bring up a 4th. So 4th and 7, balls on the Mifflin 49. And of course, as mentioned earlier, you have a quarterback as a punter.
Exactly. Always keeps that thought of a fake in the defensive mind. And Osmond with another good boot right to Singleton. He's got it at the 15, and there he goes. Oh! That's the second time that Osmond and Nick Singleton have kind of gotten personal.
In Rocket territory.
Yeah, there were 2 personals with the block and then the Singleton and Osmond collision there.
So Mifflin, great field position to start this drive, but it looks like we've got a flag, Kerry.
And they're going to call it against Mifflin. So maybe that crushing block, again, just watching it live, I don't know if they say got him in the back.
During the return, blindside block, number 51, first down.
So again, just watching it, live here, definitely a crushing block, but refs calling it a blindside block. Regardless, great return by Singleton, coming back a few yards, but 1st and 10 for Governor Mifflin from about the 34.
So not as good field position, but Mifflin with the ball once again. That's Johnson handing off to Gallen. Maybe for a couple. Getting kind of chippy out there now, Kerry.
Well, chippy in the stands.
That's finishing a play right there. No problem with that. They hadn't whistled it dead, Corey. They didn't rule forward progress. That's just finishing a football play until the whistle.
So second down and about, we'll call it 7. And another good defensive play by that Spring Grove defense.
No, Rockets have done a great job again all night, with the exception of a few plays. Really have been consistent and getting a lot of bodies to the ball carrier each time. So it looks like 3rd and 4.
And I think a big play here for Governor Mifflin. They've got to keep a sustained drive going here. Singleton. He's hemmed in along the sideline, but I think he's got enough for a first down. It is very, very close.
Singleton, first down.
Yeah, I think
he
got about
first down.
Had to get to about the 44 there, got about to the 45. But again, in the grand scheme of things, great job by the Rockets defense, working him out of bounds, not letting him get the sideline.
So pretty big 3rd down conversion there, guys. Spring Grove was in a position to get the football back. Now the clock just ticks halfway home here in the 3rd.
Johnson. Very close to midfield.
Gain of 6.
6:05 left here in the 3rd quarter. Should bring up about a 2nd and 4. Right around midfield.
So Johnson gets the play from the sidelines, comes in.
And sure, 18 minutes left in the football game. Seems like a lot, but we haven't had many possessions on either side here. Long, sustained, rushing-driven attacks.
And Singleton surveys the field down the sideline, and he's got a first down.
Singleton.
Starting to see Singleton now get to the outside.
That's where he's best, right, Carey? His ability, certainly with his quickness and power combination, but his ability to see the field, his vision. And I think you just toss the ball to him and you see what he can make of it. You're certainly going to see a lot of good things.
No, and you kind of saw it on that last play there. As he's going outside, you'll see that little hop, that little skip, as you said, Bob, as he's surveying the field. And his ability to just, cut on a dime and go is incredible.
Singleton again. And we got a flag thrown in from the line judge.
Yep, that'll be a hold. A nice job by the quarterback turned defensive player for Spring Grove, Andrew Osman, trying to shed that block and induce that hold.
So Mifflin, another penalty here, sets him back. Another holding call.
Yeah, I think the number of holds tonight, certainly something I'm sure they'll get addressed.
And again, that's not just discipline, right? That's partially leverage. And Spring Grove's defense has put these offensive linemen in a position where it's either hold or that defender's in a great position to make a tackle.
No, absolutely.
So Mifflin now. First down, looks like in about 18. Gallon up the middle. Picks up a few, maybe about 5.
Huge defensive sequence here, Bruce, for Spring Grove. 4:47 and ticking. It's an 11-point game. Have to find a way off the field here to get your offense back out there.
Absolutely. I think an important I talk about all these possessions being important, but I think, for Spring Grove to get back in this game, boy, they really have to And here's Singleton around, almost on a jet sweep for a first down.
Now that gets past the original line of scrimmage. It'll be
okay.
3rd and 9.
3rd and 8.
It trips up top, those 3 receivers out in front blocking. Nick coming across in the motion. And apparently another flag.
It was Drew Miller who made the stop. That was a heck of a play, shedding a block made by a wide receiver down the field. So that's an illegal shift called against Governor Mifflin.
So Mifflin now trying to get over these penalty jitters.
We said at the top of the broadcast, Bruce, 51 penalty yards on average per game. They are well beyond that threshold at this point here tonight.
So Johnson now with a spread formation. He's looking for Singleton at the flat, but a beautiful misdirection to Aiden Gallen on a center screen. That was a pretty play, but like you said, Bob, it only got him up to about the original line of scrimmage.
Really good play, Bruce, right? You bring Nick Singleton in motion. That takes at least one linebacker and his eyes towards that side of the field. The lineman let the rush come through, and you throw it right back to the middle of the field, which is now vacated because of that motion, as we mentioned. Really nice play call by Governor Mifflin. 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, great job of clearing out space there with the trips. You have to honor that. Nick coming across in motion, lets that middle wide open.
Johnson going deep, and he's got a man. Oh, that was Nick Singleton, and incomplete. He was going for Singleton. Actually, that was...
Get one more look at it here, Bruce. Pretty good throw.
Very good throw. Singleton was in the area.
Yeah, that's one where I think if you talk to Nick Singleton, he's going to tell you should have caught that football. Now 4th down and 10, and what a huge play this is. The offense stays out there on the field, and Spring Grove, I think that sideline can certainly sense the gravity of this play.
Absolutely.
An absolute must stop. 3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, trailing by 2 scores.
Again, Rockets have been very consistent on D most of the night. Biggest play of the night for this defense so far.
Clearly, Johnson now looking deep, and he's got a man wide open. That's Stewart. Touchdown! Whoa! Incredible 37-yard touchdown pass from Eden Johnson to Braylon Stewart. Man, that was a pretty play. And Governor Mifflin up 30-13.
Talked about it earlier in the first half, and of course Bob talked about at the top of the broadcast. Governor Mifflin doesn't pass often, and as I said in the first half, when they do, though, we've seen some pretty epic things, and great job on that connection there for Governor Mifflin.
Absolutely. What a pretty flat pass. I mean, big rainbow of a deep ball.
Great job by Schools again. It's consistency on the point after attempts. With a lot of the Mifflin wins through the season, maybe not quite as important, but as you get deeper and deeper into the playoffs, every point counts.
Mifflin went right back to the well there. The 3rd down and 10 call was a similar play, a streak from Nick Singleton. This time they run it the other direction. Another great throw by Eden Johnson. Largest lead of the night for Governor Mifflin.
2:57 left here in the 3rd quarter. Rockets need to answer back on this one.
Yeah, I was talking about the fact that was what I thought was a very big series for Governor Mifflin. And so Jackson Schools now ready to kick off, ready to pooch one off, okay? The one thing, Mifflin's given them some really good starting field position. And they kick this one kind of in between there. And I guess I can understand. I guess it really doesn't matter whether they kick it deep or whether they pooch it there. Braden Merrill with a nice return. So Spring Grove down 31-13. Really needs a good possession here, Bob. What do you think?
Yeah, 2:50 to play. Certainly has to be now. They are three possessions down. Can be accomplished with a touchdown with a 2-point conversion and then another touchdown and a field goal, but has to start right now. Trickeration and a ton of blocking,
and
Bruce.
That's Merrill. He's down the sidelines, and he's got room.
Heck of a play there from Spring Grove. I love the call coming out of the first call after the score. Really, really nice. Lineman getting out, down the field. Good blocking. Excellent start.
I think that shows a lot about this Rockets team. Again, there is no tomorrow. You got to win today, but great job of coming out and just executing.
Yeah, absolutely.
2:25, 2:24. 2:20 now left in the third quarter.
So Osmond now has played a whale of a game on both offense and defense for Spring Grove.
And special teams.
And Brooks. And he's still going.
Good start there.
Brooks, gain of 3.
So good play on first down there by Spring Grove as they try and climb their way back in here, down 31-13 to Governor Mifflin. We've got 1:45 remaining. Here in the third quarter of this District 5A semifinal. So Osmond now calling signals. That's Brooks. And that play, Governor Mifflin has just not allowed him any yardage up the middle all night long.
3 for the Rockets.
So it's going to bring up about a 3rd and 3 here as we wind down quarter number 3.
Just over a minute left to play here, third quarter.
4 down territory as they approach this third down call. Could affect what they call. I would expect another rush here. Let's see if they get it into Osmond's hands.
And up the middle again. Obviously, when you run on third down, you're going to go for it on fourth.
Brings up 4th down and 1.
I think that has to be the call here. It's a cold night. It would be about a 38-yard field goal. Wind coming off from our left. Bit of a side wind for them down on the field. I would say not even a question. Have to keep the offense out there on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we wind it down here. And I believe this is that was the last play of the third quarter.
Yep, ticking down under 5.
And that's going to do it for quarter number 3. Thanks. We got a nice announcement coming up here for our friends at Empire Surplus Home Center and also our friends here at Win Marketing for supporting this broadcast. At the end of 3 quarters, it's 31-13 in favor of Governor Mifflin.
Kids can't agree on anything, but one thing they can agree on. The right play is Empire Home Center.
We offer endless amounts of service. We'll go to great heights to help you. We're stacked with flooring with so many colors in stock.
Don't get crushed by the competition. When it comes to home remodeling, Empire has the product you need at the lowest price.
Thanks for stopping by.
Empire Home Center. We build your empire for less.
All right, welcome back to Governor Mifflin High School here in Shillington, Pennsylvania. Bruce Badgley, Bob Long, Kerry Moyer and Brett Moyer on camera for this PIAA District 3 5A semifinal. Governor Mifflin on top of Spring Grove, 31-13. Kerry, what do you think Spring Grove's got to do here? I mean, to get back in this game, obviously getting some points here is going to be important.
Yeah, get the first down, get a touchdown here.
4th down and 2.
And it looks like he's got it. Boy, very close.
I don't know, Bruce.
Wow, they didn't. They stopped them. Governor Mifflin, a huge 4th down stop in their own territory at the 20-yard line. And they're going to take over now, leading 31-13 at the start of quarter number 4, Kerry.
And that one might be the nail in the coffin. You have a team in Governor Mifflin that's been able to run the ball effectively, burn clock, 3-possession game, start of the 4th quarter. I just don't know how many possessions Spring Grove has left. Going to need to start here defensively.
And a nice play there on 1st down.
So McNeil in for quarterback now for Governor Mifflin.
Just always a great change of pace. Even though they're, option-style quarterbacks, they're really not they each have their own strength. And also the fact that because Johnson, plays so much on defense, giving him a nice blow on offense there, I think re-energizes the offense.
No, but with both these quarterbacks, again, it's a luxury Governor Mifflin has, and they don't have to change the offense up. Both these guys can run the offense.
So Delson McNeil. And that's Gallen. Oh, my. He juked the guy in the hole. Beautiful run up to about the 45-yard line. Boy, he left somebody in his wake right there in the hole. And a great run there by Aiden Gallen.
And again, Gallen, the fullback position's gotten tough yards more and more, the second part of the season. But the last few games, we've seen those where, beyond the 4, 5, 6 yards, as I said earlier, he's getting some of those 15, 20-yard gains as well. And, fresh set of downs, Bruce. First down.
Fresh set of downs. And here's Nick Singleton. Blasting his way for about 4 yards. Nick Singleton doesn't shy away from contact, that's for sure. I mean, for kind of a broken field speed guy, he doesn't mind knocking heads with people in the hole, does he, Kerry?
No, and, talking to his dad at halftime, always enjoy catching up with him, over the last few years, as Nick's gone through the process and deciding where he's going to play at the next level and, just catching up with him here, each time we do the broadcast and kind of talked about that because I say it on the broadcast about he always had that breakaway, but now he can just run people over. And, it's, and talking to his dad, it's one of those things of, it's kind of going out and doing it and knowing you can do it. And now it's just, second nature to him. And again, he's just elevated his game to a whole nother level this season. I think in particular, just he's big, he's fast, he's strong, and really the total package as a running back.
Bob, what's your view of Nick Singleton, your first, go-around with him?
Yeah, he's fantastic. First time seeing him live, of course, I've seen tape, doing the things that I do around Penn State football, but love seeing him in person. I think it'll be a great addition to the Nittany Lions team. How's that first down, 5-yard quarterback sneak right up the middle? But again, I'll say it again, right? They've scored 31 points. It looks like they're on the way to winning the football game. But when I see the statistics that he put up last week compared to what happened this week, I think you also have to give this team in white a little bit of credit for setting the edge the way they have, and for Nick Singleton to staying within himself, within the game plan. He's been phenomenal at the running back position today. It's been a well-played football game.
Well, I tell you what, you hit the nail on the head there, is that Nick Singleton doesn't try and force it, nor does Governor Mifflin try and force the game on Nick Singleton. They let the game come to Nick Singleton, and, in every aspect of, this game, both offensively and defensively. And, Mifflin, quite honestly, they're in control of this game, 31-14. 13 now. We've got 8:55 to go, and Mifflin, with the ball. But they're not trying to force the action. And a great scamper there by Gallon. He broke about 5 tackles to get the first down.
Great job by Gallon. And no, last week's performance again. Nick Singleton's just a generational back, and what he did with those 7 touchdowns, that was on 15 touches. So I mean, it's like almost every other time he got the ball. And some of those were from 2 yards out, some of them from 60 yards out. Putting up those 330 yards, it's just those types of performances are really special. Again, just 15 touches. It wasn't like, 35 handoffs to do that.
And there he goes. I mean, it just, like I was just saying, the game comes to Nick Singleton.
Well, and that's a great seal. Going through that C gap, the guard pushes inside. The tackle pushes his defender to the sideline, and that's too easy for Nick Singleton.
So Empire Surplus Home Center, our special sponsor here. That's a great touchdown there by Nick to make it 37-13. And the Jackson Schools and a flag. And let's not forget our friends at Win Marketing.
Penalty against the Mustangs.
As a small to mid-sized business, you're busy, really busy, working hard to be successful. But are you letting your brand work for you? With our custom web design, content development, marketing plans, and social media services, you can start telling your business work in your favor. Generally online leads and relating current clients, making them happier than ever. We help your business get found online when potential customers are looking for product or service you provide. Win with Win Marketing. Thanks for your support tonight. And a great extra point there by Schools.
No, after the penalty, Schools, again with the extra point. He's been perfect on the night with extra points. Also has a field goal in this game. Again, he's been Mr. Consistency in the kicking game for Governor Mifflin this whole season. Down to 8:20 left here in the fourth quarter. Governor Mifflin now has 38 points on the board. Again, coming into last week, their average was 49.5. Of course, with the performance last week, they're up over that 50 points average a game. 38 so far tonight.
Guys, if you would be so kind, some promotion of some other content we have coming up here on Bob Long Sports tomorrow at noon. It's a PIAA District 12 5A championship game. That'll take place at Northeast High School between Father Judge and Imhotep Charter. I know a team that some folks here in Shillington maybe are looking ahead, maybe too far, maybe not, as a potential state title matchup. Eni White, Keon Wiley, maybe the best set of defensive ends that the state has to offer at any classification. And that'll be fun tomorrow. Mike Van Horn, a great quarterback for Father Judge. Eric Smith, the tailback. It'll be a rushing attack team in Father Judge against one of the staunchest defense that the state has to offer. That's tomorrow on this channel. Give us a follow and a subscribe if you haven't already. That's Bob Long Sports. Won't have you back there with me, but I'll be lugging the equipment back, and I'll get back to what I normally do, which is play-by-play, and enjoy doing that. We'll have Tyler Kern on color, Kevin Long on the camera.
Well, every Governor Mifflin fan needs to watch that game. That's all I got to say is you touched on it. Imhotep, and a beautiful Osman there getting away from 5 guys, takes off.
Boy,
lowers
how
his
much,
head.
How much do you love that effort?
I mean,
down 25 points, 8 minutes left, and Osman just doing everything he can. That's an incredible play.
Leaving everything out on the field, Kerry.
Second, third, fourth effort. We saw it with the initial touchdown for the Rockets earlier. In the game in the first half to where we're at now in the fourth quarter. Just an incredible athlete. He's done great things on offense, defense. The punting game. Just a special talent, and as Bob said, only a junior. exciting year for him coming up next year as well. And no doubt he'll be playing at the next level, doing something.
Oh, there's a fumble. Looks like Spring Grove got on it. It's a fumble.
Nice. Boomer.
Rockets cover the fumble for a
Prime time, by the way, back on ESPN Plus,
Yeah.
behind a paywall. Unlike this game, by the way. Thanks to our sponsors, Win Marketing.
Yeah, exactly right. Thanks to our friends at Win Marketing.
How about that
and
segue?
Surplus, Empire Surplus Home Center. Bob touched on it. Fans, you need to support the organizations that are supporting high school sports. Empire Surplus Home Center and Win Marketing are two of those businesses. Please support them. So Osmond now, he's back to pass. He's under a heavy rush. He just throws it up there. That's got right. I mean, it's got to be a penalty. The defender was just pushed the receiver out of bounds.
Yep, and that was a catchable ball, right? That's the other thing, is it has to be catchable. Unlike defensive holding, where it doesn't matter whether the ball is catchable or not. Pass interference, that is of concern. That ball landed in the field of play. Very clear. Here's something I found out last week, though, Bruce.
Uh-oh.
The rule change several years ago at high school. That is not an automatic first down. Now, by virtue of it being a 15-yard penalty, not a spot foul the way you'd see at the NFL level,
Right.
but because that's a 15-yard penalty and there was 10 yards to go, that results in a first down. But if that was 1st and 20, that would not have been an automatic first down. We found that out down at Franklin Field, calling LaSalle against St. Joe's Prep in the 6A District 12 semifinal, because there was a pass interference in the end zone, and it didn't give LaSalle an automatic first down. An odd rule at best at the high school level.
Wow. So Spring Grove now an opportunity. They're down 38-13. Look, there's a lot of time left here. 7 minutes and 10 seconds.
Brooks gain of 2.
Crucial to get in the end zone on this one. Ball is on the left hash. It trips down to this side of the field. Came back inside. Got some positive yards. Looks about 2nd and 8. Ball's on the 13. 6:50 left here in the fourth quarter.
So Spring Grove here. Keep wanting to say Spring Ford, but Spring Grove. And he's been under pressure all night, and he goes down. I think the defensive line met at the quarterback on that one.
He's up 3rd down.
Yeah, a couple of those
And 10.
big guys inside, and Trey Rock, the linebacker, all in on that for Governor Mifflin. 6:19 left here in the fourth quarter.
3rd down and 10. They need inside the 10 to about the 6 for a first.
So a big play here for Spring Ford. Excuse me, for Spring Grove. I can't say.
Now you're convincing yourself.
I know. for Spring Grove. Osmond now rolling to his right. He's under pressure again. Fires and a beautiful grab, but it was incomplete.
Yeah, that one hopped to him there.
Incomplete.
Good effort, but again, maybe a bit short arm, certainly on the run. It's the pressure that makes that throw difficult.
Absolutely.
So started out sprint to the right, came back to the left. Again, impressed with his body mechanics at quarterback there, his ability to get outside the pocket, square his shoulders, and make throws.
Well, I tell you what, Governor Mifflin defense, Nick Singleton trying to implore the fans and his teammates here on a 4th down play.
4th and 9, ball on the 14. 5:46 left here in the fourth quarter from Shillington.
So Governor Mifflin here, up 38-13, 5:46 left. Not the typical Mifflin performance of this season. But as you've been saying all along, Kerry, give credit where credit is due. And Spring Grove has just played an outstanding game, strategy-wise, to stay in this one.
No, with where we're at, where we, the depth in the playoffs now, this is the kind of game you would expect. And it's been fun for 3.5 quarters so far tonight.
Osmond, nice slant across the middle.
Right near the line to gain, too.
And it looks like he's just a tad short. Wow. That was a nice grab there by Riley Stone across the middle, but just short. So Governor Mifflin, a good defensive stand there. They'll take over deep in their own territory, but they're leading 38-13. About ready to maybe salt this one away, Carrie.
You guys see this team a little more than me. Surprised at all to see Nick Singleton still out there?
No.
And why not? Or why are you not surprised by that?
Really, it kind of goes back to the game that we had a few weeks ago with Berks Catholic, and they kind of knew that they were going to have the buys coming up, and just getting the playing time. But again, with
right up the gut, which you didn't expect anything else at this particular point. Aiden Gallen with the carry. And, Mifflin, they're not trying to impress everybody. They're just trying they're trying to just win football games.
Well, and, with what Bruce said earlier, we saw some games where they jumped out to early leads, getting 3-4 scores in the first quarter, having, being ready to come out, mercy ruling, teams, at the start of the second half. And, that's when we've seen some of the younger guys later in the game, maybe in the fourth quarter. But, with the games here later in the season, Bob, we've seen a lot of the starters stay in longer and longer.
For our local fans here, Exeter up 35-28 with about 10 minutes remaining in their game at Cedar Cliff.
So potential for a rematch.
There's that quarterback dive play, and that looks like it's going to be a
call it
first
what it is.
down.
That's just a sneak up the middle for 10 yards.
So Mifflin now just letting that clock roll down to 4 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in this one. And they're leading 38-13. It's not a beauty contest for Governor Mifflin. They're just looking for the W.
Well, they're certainly going to get it here today. And
Gallen for 2.
What they did is they stuck to the game plan. Spring Grove did a great job for a long time, quite frankly, in this game, holding down this explosive Governor Mifflin attack. But there is, Carrie, as you know, playing this game, an element of getting worn down. And Governor Mifflin, they took the 3 yards, the 6 yards, and a cloud of dust for a while. Aiden Gallen, I think, was the primary vehicle behind wearing down the interior portion of this defensive line. And then you put it in Nick Singleton's hands, and those gaps started to open in the second half.
Yeah, and with Governor Mifflin, it's not, can we break one? Can we get a big play? It's really a matter of when's it gonna happen. And once they really start getting moving with it, we've seen it often where the floodgates will open. And again, a little bit of a slower start. We talked about some of the penalties, some of the miscues, some of the holding. Again, I think that like you said, Bob, that's really a credit to this Rockets defense and what they were causing up front.
So right up the gut again. Looked like that was Gallen. Who's played a great game. I mean,
Gallen for the first down.
Been the workhorse inside for Governor Mifflin.
Mustang 45.
This whole second half of the season, every week, just more and more part of the offense, getting more touches, doing a lot of positive things for Governor Mifflin.
Absolutely.
2:40 left here, fourth quarter.
So Greg Z, beg your pardon, checks in and gave us an update from the Exeter game.
Yep.
So if you're taping that one, spoiler alert coming, but apparently Exeter up 42-28. That one's a shootout.
Wow. Well, the winner there plays Governor Mifflin next week is what it looks like. And here's a pitch out to Singleton, who doesn't get too much.
Singleton pushed out of bounds.
What might that game look like, Bruce? Tell me about Exeter.
Wow. Physical. These two are conference opponents, played one another. a few weeks ago. I was down on the field for that one. Governor Mifflin raced off to a quick 30-0 lead in that one. It kind of coasted. But I tell you what, they were in a battle. Exeter never let up, ran the ball fairly effectively as any team has done all year against Governor Mifflin. And, Mifflin obviously won the game, but definitely kind of paid the price in a physical toll.
No, my two players that stood out to me that night, both the fullback and linebacker combination with Rock here from Mifflin and Yoakum from Exeter, both all-county linebackers here. Yoakum, the linebacker of the year in Section 1 in Berks County, and both of those guys I think were, big factors on offense and defense for both of their teams.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a knockdown drag-out. Clearly, Mifflin's going to be favored because they played at Exeter the first time around. This time they'll be playing here at Governor Mifflin Stadium, but.
A buck 10 to go in this one, guys, coming to the end.
And a huge factor in that game, no doubt, and we talked about was definitely Governor Mifflin got the check mark in special teams in that game, and that was a huge factor. With the really double check mark, triple check mark in the special teams game for Mifflin that night.
So Mifflin just letting the clock run down. Johnson. It's actually Nick Singleton that he hands the ball to.
And that's going to be a turnover on downs. That was fourth down, 1 yard to go. So not the last play of the football game.
But, to your credit there, Bob, they're handing it off to Nick Singleton, up 38-13 with 30 seconds to go,
Hey, I just asked the question.
Yeah. They play the game, and they're not really interested in, like I talked about, in the whole beauty aspect of it. They're out there to win. They don't care how.
Bruce, do you know when the 5A District 3 title game would be? I know it's next weekend sometime.
Next Friday night, right here at Governor Mifflin Stadium.
34 seconds left. And one more go at it here for Brooks.
Brooks, he played a very good game. He had that one nice, touchdown here to start in the opening drive of the third quarter there for Spring Grove, but just way too much Governor Mifflin tonight. A valiant effort by Spring Grove, but Governor Mifflin comes out on top, 38-13, and moves on to play in the District 3 5A championship next Friday night here at Governor Mifflin Stadium. Kerry, any final thoughts?
Looking forward to next week. Looks, from what we were seeing, that Exeter is going to be in town, and we're going to have a Berks County showdown, and excited to see that rematch, and just can't wait.
Well, you can rewind my Fresh Set of Downs final episode to say that I thought Exeter was the one team to watch in District 3, and clearly that's been the case. They're rolling through people and likely to play, Mifflin here in the championship game. Bob, what do you think about your first go-round here at Governor Mifflin Stadium?
Yeah, enjoyed District 3 action here today. A Philadelphia guy coming out and just trying to do more listening than talking with Carrie and Bruce doing their thing. I know you guys are well established in this community, so I appreciate the opportunity to come out, be a part of this broadcast, do a little bit of production, and toss a few thoughts your way also. Nick Singleton, he's a star, clearly. Don't need me to say that. Fantastic runner. And Governor Mifflin, I thought the offensive line had an excellent game as well. I really think Aiden Gallen is the key to this offense. Of course, Nick Singleton is, right? But my point being is he wears down the interior defensive line on the opposition. He did that well today and creates openings for Nick Singleton. So I think that between Aiden Gallen, Eden Johnson, Nick Singleton. A three-headed, there's really four-headed monster, right? There's a couple other guys they'll flip the ball to. If this defense can stand up in the way they did today, and quite frankly, if nobody's going to be able to stop this rushing attack, could be your 5A state champion. Simple as that. It's who's going to be able to stop this rushing attack. Again, the game I'm going to be calling tomorrow, Bruce, Imhotep against Father Judge. Father Judge is going to play with a lot of passion, but if it is Imhotep that comes through in that game, and somehow we get that matchup, that defensive line of Imhotep, 2 5-stars against this 5-star, Nick Singleton, could be in for a treat. Long way to go, though, and that is what's so much fun about the PIAA state playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when Bob said a little bit of production, he did a lot of production. I mean, just an incredible effort, showcasing Bob Long Sports because he does such a great job promoting high school sports here in the state of Pennsylvania. And that's really what it's all about, promoting high school sports here in Pennsylvania, promoting these teams, promoting these players. Thanks so much to the sponsors that support this broadcast tonight, Win Marketing, as well as Empire Surplus Home Center. Since 1955, Empire has basically Berks County's best home center. We thank them so much for supporting this broadcast. Bob, I can't thank you enough, man. I mean, it's been a great time tonight. One that, you were the one that kind of got me into doing this streaming thing a few years ago when we ran into each other over at, Albright College at a LaSalle Reading High basketball game. We've stayed close. You were up here actually at a Governor Mifflin gymnasium basketball game the other year when LaSalle played Reading High. And, I can't thank you enough for supporting what we're doing up here. And quite honestly, you just let us know when we need to support you. And we'll be there to support you every neck of the way. And, I got a feeling that, we'll be doing another broadcast down the road somewhere, somehow. I got to believe that that's going to happen. Right, buddy?
Sure, look forward to that. Great effort here by both of you guys and all three of you guys. I've enjoyed doing this. Nice tradition here, the alma mater being played with the Governor Mifflin team swaying along.
Well, that about does it here from Shillington. Thanks to my cohort in crime there, Kerry Moyer. Guy's been along my side here for the last 5 years. And off we go. Another playoff game under Governor Mifflin's belt. They defeat Spring Grove here tonight, 38-13. For Bob Long, Kerry Moyer, Brett Moyer, I'm Bruce Batchley, and we'll catch you here next Friday night as Governor Mifflin goes for a District 3 championship. Take care. We'll see you next week. So long.